I will say that I'm not going to go over what I, like usual, I'm not going to do, whoa. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey, and we're about to get very, very nerdy with my September TBR. So in the month of September, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently because I will be not participating in my own TBR game. I will be participating in the Becca's Bookopolathon, which is a readathon based on her Bookopoly, which is her TBR game based on Monopoly. I participated in a 48-hour version of this just kind of as a test run that she did in July, I want to say, which I vlogged, and I will leave down below if you want to see it. But this is the month-long version where she has created a separate board for us, which I have printed out and put on cardboard because I am extra. But we'll be doing this game today instead of my own game. However, there is 2 card decks, which I don't actually have printed out, but one of them is Community Chest, which is just a bunch of prompts. So if I get Community Chest, we will be pulling from my basket. So it might come up today, but we're going to be doing this today, and I am so excited. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, Becca from Becca in the Books has a TBR game that she has created. I will leave the announcement video to the readathon down below if you want to see it. So it's very simple. You have 5 turns, you go around the board, and wherever you land, that's the prompt that you read this month. If you get doubles, then you get to add a prompt on. So we're going to start with 5, and maybe we won't get doubles, maybe we will, who knows. But this is what we're going to be doing this month. I will be vlogging this month, so stay tuned for those vlogs if you are curious. But I'm going to start with whatever number, 5, 10, whatever I get, whatever the board decides for me this month. And then if I have extra time in the month, I'll roll extra rolls at the end, so stay tuned, like I said, in those vlogs. But knowing me, I'll probably get something ridiculous from this board, and that's what we're gonna do. I will also be participating in the Adventures Through Wonderland, I think is a middle grade readathon happening this month. So I'm gonna try to put some middle grade stuff in this month that'll correlate with those, but I'll talk about that once we get to the end, once I've gone through all the rolls, and I'll mention which ones will work for that, or if none do, we're just gonna have a super long TBR. But I feel like I've talked a lot about this enough, so we're gonna move on from this. I'm gonna pull from my TBR jars, and then we're gonna start the rolls. Let's go with this one, because why not? This is nonfiction, right? I think so. Oh, I pulled like 10 things. Okay, there we go. So we have, oh, it's so tiny. Ooh, the Big Book of Gutsy Women. And then we also have, oh, the Rival Queens. Oh, these are both really good. So the first one that I pulled was this one, which I got for Christmas from my husband, which is the Book of Gutsy Women. It's written by Hillary Rodham Clinton and her daughter, Chelsea. And it's their favorite stories of courage and resilience. It's just a book full of, like, women, things about them. It's heavy. But it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's the one that I picked first, and the second one that I picked out was a history book. It's called The Rival Queens. It is by Nancy Goldstone, and it follows Catherine de Medici and her daughter, and their ridiculous history because they had a lot of conflicts. Those are my 2 nonfiction books. I'm excited about both of these, so this is going to be hard to choose from. Let's do fiction. I think I got 2. First one is Time Site. Oh, that's a good one. That's the 3rd time I picked that one. And then Lady Jane Disappears. I've definitely got both of these before. So the 2 that I picked out of that is Time Site by Lynn Johnell, which I've picked a few times. It's a middle grade. It's historical. Goes back in history, maybe a little sci-fi. Sounds interesting, set in Scotland. And then the other one is Lady Jane Disappears, and this one is kind of like a, I don't know if it was a murder mystery, but it's very, like, detective-esque. You learn secrets about a big fancy house, and I think Lady Jane is gonna disappear. But those are the 2 that I picked from my fiction jar. So let's just go into the very first roll. I will apologize ahead of time if the roll footage is a little shaky. Obviously I pre-filmed my rolls, and I had to do weird things this is what happened. My husband helped me out. So if it's a little shaky, I apologize. But let's get into the first one. I'm so excited. So here's my board that I have printed out from her thing. Here's my little person that's actually a necklace trinket that doesn't have a chain. So that's what we're going to use. So let's just go ahead and do the first roll and see what happens. Oh, let me drop everything first. Six. 6. A book with a dark cover. My very first roll for Becca's Bookopolathon was to read a book with a dark cover. So I would consider that this one counts. So I'm going to put in The Gallery by Laura Marks Fitzgerald. I've had this on like every single middle grades readathon, TBR, something. So I'm hoping by putting it on this one, I'll actually read it. But it's like a middle grade mystery set in this house that revolves around this gallery. And this girl who lives there, whose mother I think is the head of the household staff, and there's just a bunch of secrets in this house. And this cover is absolutely gorgeous. But I would consider that a dark cover with the dark, maybe? Fingers crossed. All right, second roll. 7, right? Yeah.
8.
8. 8. Ooh, LGBTQ plus rep. So my very second roll was to read a book with LGBTQIA plus rep in it. So I'm going to go with one that I've been wanting to read for at least a couple of months, if not more, and that is Felix Ever After by Casey Callender. This follows our main character Felix, who is a transgender man, but like it also has like a whole revenge plot because his dead name and pictures of him before he transitioned are coming out, and so he's trying to take revenge on the person who sent them, and so he catfishes the person that he thinks sent them. But also he's never been in love and he just wants to be a normal teenager. So I'm very excited about this. It's by a non-binary author, and I've heard incredibly amazing things about this. I've heard it's just a very messy teenage book, and I'm excited. So that's going to be my pick for LGBTQIA plus rep. I'm excited. Also, this cover is just absolutely stunning. Roll number 3. Now it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. First in a series. The next prompt, or the next roll that I got, was to read the first in a series. I do not need to be starting any more series, but I've had this one on my list for a while, and I haven't bought the others in it because I want to see if I will like the first one, and I've heard amazing things about it. So I'm excited. And that is Sleeping Giants by Sylvian Nouvelle. This is an adult, I want to say it's an adult sci-fi, but it's told in like interview style. So I've heard if you like the Illuminae files, you will very much enjoy this one. I've heard great things about this, but it follows our main character Rose, who when she was a girl falls into like a well or a hole, and she realizes she falls right into a giant metal hand. And then when she grows up, she is part of this team that's discovering and researching these giant things that are in the world. Honestly, not quite sure what it's fully about. But I'm really excited because there's a lot of mystery surrounding this, and I first heard about this from G from Book Roast, who was the first person I heard about Illuminae from, and I read Illuminae on her recommendation and loved it, so this is one of her favorites, and I'm very, very excited, and I've heard amazing things about this. Roll number 4. Ooh, I haven't got any doubles yet, but I'm probably about to jinx myself. Yep, 8. Awesome. Nature on the cover. So, for roll number 4, I jinxed myself and got a double, so we're going to have at least 6 rolls in this one. But that one is to read a book with nature on the cover. So I'm going to go with The School for Good and Evil, the 5th one in this series, because if you look very closely, we've got some flowers over here, we've got some like brambles and twigs and stuff, but also like swans are technically part of nature. So we're going to go with it. I've been putting off reading this one, and I'm not quite sure why, and after what happened in the 4th book, I need to know. So, This is a series that I just absolutely adore. I'm sure if you've been around for a while, you know what this is, but it follows two friends, Agatha and Sophie, who in the very first book get whisked off to the School for Good and Evil. It is a school that is split in half. One side's for good, one side's for evil. Every like 7 years or something, they take a kid for the good school and for the evil school, and they both think they know what school they're going to go to, and then at the last minute, they go to the opposite school they think. And this is the 5th one, where, like, lots of things have happened since then, but I am so excited because he's really good at, like, wrapping things up, and then the last chapter, dropping a bomb, and then ending the book, and, like, ooh, I need to know what's gonna happen in this one. Yeah, so this is one that I'm going to pick up for nature, because I'm excited. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, roll number 5. Oh, dang it. 10. 10. It's highest rated. So, I jinxed myself again, and I got a second double. So, we're going to be having at least 7 books on this TBR, plus the books that I'm sure I'm not going to be able to get to, like, fit in. But this one was the highest rated on your TBR. So I went on my Goodreads TBR, I went through it, I like did the highest rating, and the couple that were the highest rated are ones that aren't even out yet, so that was confusing. But the highest one is the 3rd volume of Heartstoppers by Alice Oseman. So I have purchased that. I don't have it right now. It should be coming in like the next week so that I can read it during September, but this was the highest rated one, which doesn't surprise me, but this is a graphic novel following 2 kids in a school, I think it's like set in the UK, that this is just the 3rd in their little story. It's just a very, very cute, fun, fluffy love story that I love. I have the first 2 volumes, which I have read, and I have not read the 3rd one yet, so I'm very excited to get my hands on that one, but that's what I'm going to read. That was the highest rated according to Goodreads, so that's what I'm going to pick up. Okay. Roll 6. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. Translated. Oh dear. So the first of my added on, the 6th roll, was to read a book that was translated. Now, this is hard because I feel like a lot of the books that I have on my shelves were not translated into English, but I do have one that I haven't read that has been translated into English from a different language, and that one is The Angel's Game by Carlos Ruiz Zafran. He's the one who wrote The Shadow of the Wind, which I read earlier this year and absolutely loved, and I've had this one on my shelves for a while. It is set in Barcelona, just like the other one was. I don't think it's part of the same series. I think it's another one that's kind of just like set in the same world, but it follows a writer who is stuck in a house and goes under a pen name, and then like gets really involved in like backworldy, underworldsy type of situations. And it sounds good. Also, like the cover, like this is it's a very odd cover because it's very short, but like the physical cover of the book is stunning. It's so pretty, but this is a big boy. So I'm gonna see if I can find an audiobook of this because like I'm gonna need help. Even though the font is not like the tiniest of fonts, I am gonna need help. But I devoured his other one, so I'm very excited to start this one. And I just am obsessed with this cover. So pretty. And hopefully, the last one. Roll 7. 9. 6, 7, 8, 9. Ooh, another LGBT plus rep. And the very, very last roll that I have, the 7th one, another double roll, was, or another result of a double roll, was to read another book with LGBTQIA plus rep in it. And I am so excited because I've been dying to read this book. I'm in like a contemporary romance mood, so I'm going to pick up Boyfriend Material by Alexis Hall. This follows 2 boys, one whose father is a rock star, I want to say, and is in the limelight. And so when he gets in the limelight, so does this kid whose name is Luke, and then he gets in a situation that's not ideal, and some pictures are being taken, and so to change that, he decides to date, or to fake date, a very straightforward boy whose name is Oliver. And they fake date, and then obviously that's going to turn into some feelings. But I am so excited. This gives me a lot of the same vibes as Red, White, and Royal Blue did, and I loved that book, so I'm very excited to see what this one's about and if I will like it as well. I'm just very excited. Oh, I'm so excited. Let me mention a couple other books that I'm going to read this month, and then I will talk about the middle grade readathon and what I need to read for that one. So as far as my nonfiction pick, I'm gonna go with the Gutsy Women book by the Clintons because it's one that I think I can leave on my nightstand, read a couple of things every night or so, and it's gonna be easier to get through and read the entire month than trying to read a very thick book on history, although I'm very excited about that one as well. And then as far as my fiction book goes, I'm going to finally pick up Time Sight. It's a middle grade. It can fit in the middle grade readathon, which I will talk about in a second. So finally going to get this one done. And then I also need to pick up the 10th in the series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket, which I am reading with Serena from A Wandering Mind. I've talked about this for the entire year so far. We're reading the series, or Buddy reading the series together, and September is the 10th book. So I'm excited to dive into this one because the series is getting good. Okay, we've been here for a while, but I'm going to quickly go through the prompts for the Alice Through the Looking Glass, Adventures Through the Looking Glass, that readathon. Again, I'm going to leave Gavin's announcement video down below because that's where I saw it, and he will talk about all the other co-hosts because there's 4 of them and everything that you need to know about that one if you're curious, but it's basically a map that you follow. You can double up on prompts if you want to. I have kind of on a couple of them. So the first one is Down the Rabbit Hole, read a book set in another world. So I'm going to go with The School for Good and Evil because obviously it's set in another world. And then we're going to go Flower Garden, read an aesthetically pleasing book. We're going to go with The Gallery because, oh my goodness, this cover is stunning. The next two are kind of, they can flip back and forth. We'll see because they're very interesting ones. And so the next one is Eat Me, Drink Me, make yourself a cozy reading snack. So I will be reading The Slippery Slope while I do that one. And the next one is The Right Rabbit's House, which is to pick a book for a cozy night in. I'll read Time Sight on like the weekend and get all like cozy and stuff. And then the next one is The Queen of Hearts' Palace, pick a book you think that you will love. Obviously I'm going to go with The School for Good and Evil because I love this series and I anticipate loving this book as well. And then the last one is The Cheshire Cat, pick a strange and mysterious book. I consider The Gallery to be a little bit of a mystery, so we're going to do that one as well. And then there is a group book, which if I have time, I will try to read, but it's not my top priority, considering that I have 10 books on my TBR this month, so we shall see. With that one is The Train to Impossible Places by P.G. Bell. Honestly, I have no idea what this book is about, but that's the group book. There you go. Those are the, very quickly, the books that I'm going to be reading this month. There's so many. Oh my gosh, that one is so heavy and I don't know why. Oh, they won't even all fit on this shelf. Those are the books. I've got a very rainbow thing going on here. But those are all of the books that I'm planning on reading in September. Again, stay tuned for my Bookopolathon vlogs, which I will be doing. And if for some reason I'm crazy enough to finish everything, maybe we'll do an extra roll. I don't know. Or this might stay around for possibility of getting it in my TBR basket because this is so much fun and I loved it. Regardless, I hope that you enjoyed this chaotic TBR. Again, I'll leave links down below to everyone that I've mentioned. All of the announcement videos and all that fun stuff will be down there in the description. But that's really all I've got. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you are participating in either of these readathons or a different readathon or something you're reading in September. Let's chat. But if you did like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up or subscribe down below if you want to. I've also got my social media down there if you want to follow along on any of those. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!